LeBron James is not just one of the greatest basketball players of all time, he's also one of the most durable athletes in history. Nearing 40, he continues to perform at a level that seems to defy biology. While many players his age have retired, LeBron is still breaking records, dunking over defenders half his age, and showing almost no signs of slowing down. How is that possible? Behind the highlight reels lies a scientific experiment in longevity and performance. LeBron famously invests heavily in his body: cold exposure and cryotherapy, hyperbaric oxygen sessions, compression systems, precision nutrition guided by biomarkers, sleep engineering, and AI-assisted recovery planning. What looks like superstardom is also systems engineering, biology measured, modeled, and maintained. In this episode, we'll explore how LeBron turned longevity into a strategy. We'll break down how he treats the body as an integrated machine, why recovery is trained like a skill, how data predicts fatigue before injuries happen, and how psychology, mindset, routine, leadership stabilizes performance. Then we'll zoom out to the frontier where elite sports and longevity medicine meet, from AI-guided training to regenerative care that protects joints, tendons, mitochondria, and mind. The bigger story is this. The same tools used to keep a legend on the floor are moving into everyday life. The gap between athletic performance and long-term health is closing. LeBron doesn't just train harder, he trains smarter, with feedback loops that bend the curve of aging. If aging is gravity, his approach is aerodynamics, minimizing drag, maximizing glide. This is the blueprint behind LeBron's late career dominance, and a preview of where human endurance is headed. LeBron sees his body the way a Formula One engineer sees a race car. Every subsystem matters because they all interact. You don't just add horsepower, you optimize the chassis, the tires, the airflow, the telemetry. Start with the kinetic chain. Force should travel cleanly from the foot through the ankle, knee, hip, spine, and shoulder to the ball. If one link is restricted, tight hips, a stiff thoracic spine, weak glute med, you leak energy and overstress another joint. That's why his daily prep includes mobility flows, activation patterns, and footwork that restore alignment before the first shot goes up. Strength is built with intent. Not just big lifts, but deceleration training. Learning to land and absorb force efficiently, because great landing mechanics protect great jumping. Eccentrics, isometrics, and tempo work teach tissues to manage chaos. Power comes later, layered on top of clean mechanics, not instead of them. Fuel and fluids are tuned to the schedule. Protein protects lean mass across long seasons. Complex carbs are periodized around practices and games. Healthy fats and micronutrients support hormones and recovery. Electrolytes are matched to sweat rate. Post-game nutrition is treated like a pit stop: refuel fast, then stabilize. Respiration and circulation are trained too. Intervals and, at times, hypoxic or simulated altitude sets challenge oxygen utilization. Breathwork rebalances the nervous system after travel and stress. The hardest variable of all, sleep, becomes infrastructure. Dark, cool rooms, consistent timing, blue light control, napping strategies. The nightly window where growth hormone pulses and neural networks consolidate skills is non-negotiable. Overlay coordination, foot speed, balance, proprioception, and small space agility keep a 6 feet 9 inches frame moving like a guard without breaking like a big. System thinking changes the question from how hard did you work, to how well did every subsystem support tomorrow. That mindset is the foundation of longevity. The secret to LeBron's longevity isn't only how he trains. It's how precisely he recovers. Cryotherapy and cold immersion are used like tools, not trophies. Cold constricts blood vessels, temporarily blunting soreness, the rewarm phase brings fresh flow to tissues. Timing matters. After a heavy strength day where you want inflammatory signals to trigger adaptation, cold might be delayed. After a brutal game with short turnaround, cold may come earlier to prioritize readiness. Hyperbaric oxygen therapy pushes more oxygen into plasma under pressure, supporting tissue repair and helping the nervous system settle after late-night travel and adrenaline. Compression boots accelerate venous return, offloading heavy legs. Soft tissue therapy, fascia work, and joint mobilizations restore glide where tissues get sticky. Light matters, literally. Red and near-infrared wavelengths are often used to support mitochondrial function and local recovery windows. Mobility and pull work unload joints while keeping blood moving. Active recovery, not couch time, restores range without adding damage. Then the data layer, sleep stages, HRV, resting heart rate, temperature, reaction tests, subjective readiness, integrated into a simple daily decision: push, hold, or pivot. AI-assisted platforms digest the mosaic and recommend workload tweaks, swap sprints for skill work, shorten shoot-around, add aerobic flush, push the heavy lift to tomorrow. You're no longer guessing. Regenerative performance borrows from sports medicine and the longevity world, labs for inflammation, nutrient status, and hormones, tendon health scans to catch issues early, nutrition protocols that protect mitochondria and connective tissue. Over a season, this approach prevents dips from becoming spirals. Recovery isn't passive. It's scheduled, measured, and refined, as disciplined as training itself. Most athletes overvalue the workout and undervalue the repair. LeBron flips that ratio. Mastering recovery is how he looks fresh in May when most legs are gone. Old school advice said listen to your body. New school says listen and measure. External load is tracked: minutes, accelerations, max outputs, jump counts, asymmetries on force plates. Internal load is tracked: HRV trends, sleep efficiency, subjective soreness, mood. Add blood markers: iron, vitamin D, creatine kinase, inflammation, and hydration metrics. Add imaging when needed: tendon thickness, muscle architecture. Individually, these are whispers. Together, they speak. A slight drop in deep sleep plus rising resting heart rate plus left-right force imbalance after a long flight. That's not tough it out, that's tweak today before the hamstring tweaks you. Nutrition becomes precision, too. If glycogen restoration lags after night games, post-game fueling is scripted to the minute. If glucose runs high on red-eye trips, carb timing and circadian cues, morning light exposure, training slot, are adjusted to pull it back in range. Supplementation is targeted, not random. Genetic and historical context add guardrails: caffeine sensitivity, collagen tendencies, prior injuries. Data doesn't replace coaching or feel, it refines them. The goal isn't to eliminate risk, it's to manage probability across a long arc: fewer bad weeks, more good months, more healthy seasons. This is precision performance, the sports twin of precision medicine. It's the difference between superstition and strategy, between reacting to pain and predicting fatigue before it bites. Longevity isn't only physical, it's mental. Under pressure, the nervous system is either your ally or your saboteur. Chronic stress elevates cortisol, fragments sleep, and slows recovery. In playoff moments, that spiral can end seasons. LeBron's counter is psychological architecture. Game day routines that feel familiar on the road, breath work to widen the gap between stimulus and response, and mindfulness that brings attention back to the present possession instead of the last turnover. Leadership functions like a physiological tool. When a veteran sets the emotional thermostat, calm, focused, amused by chaos, the whole locker room avoids cortisol spikes that burn energy. Emotional contagion is real. Stability is a performance enhancer you can't buy in a bottle. Identity matters. If your identity is "I'm only as good as my last shot," you're on a roller coaster. If it's "I'm a craftsman who shows up and solves problems," you return to process after both triumph and failure. Process outlasts pressure. Consistency is the quiet math of greatness. Show up, stack habits, recover, repeat. Small wins across months outcompete heroic bursts. That mindset reduces decision fatigue, protects sleep, and keeps energy for what matters: preparation and execution. Finally, joy. Enjoyment isn't soft, it's fuel. Positive effect lowers background stress chemistry and helps learning stick. LeBron is famous for keeping the game fun, for himself and teammates. That isn't immaturity, it's engineering. A brain that's safe learns faster, and a body that's calm heals faster. Psychological longevity is simple and hard: standards that are high, self-talk that is kind, and routines that are stable. That mix keeps you in the game. Zoom out. What LeBron and his team built around one athlete mirrors what the longevity industry is building for everyone. Clinical platforms are using AI to integrate wearables, labs, and imaging to spot risk before symptoms: heart issues, metabolic drift, silent inflammation. Biotech focuses on mitochondrial quality control, cellular housekeeping, and tissue repair, the same levers athletes try to protect through training and recovery. Tools that started in locker rooms are entering daily life: HRV-guided training, sleep staging, RED/near IR recovery, pneumatic compression, breath coaching for stress. Annual physicals are becoming richer: more meaningful blood panels, body composition and bone density tracking, strength and balance screens that predict long-term independence. The message isn't "be a pro athlete." It's borrow the principles. Measure what matters. Dose stress so you adapt, not break. Guard sleep like an asset. Fuel for function, not impulse. Treat recovery as training. The line between sports science and longevity medicine is fading. The cultural shift is just as big. We used to accept decline as an opaque mystery. Now more of it is measurable, and what's measurable is improvable. Imagine the next decade. Smart textiles reading muscle fatigue in real time, subtly cueing mechanics to protect joints. Courts and rinks that don't just track where you moved, but how your tissues loaded, recommending substitutions based on recovery debt. AI co-pilots for coaches that balance matchups with long-term availability. Regenerative options improve, safer, evidence-based protocols for tendon and cartilage support, nutrition tuned to your microbiome, conditioning designed for your mitochondrial phenotype. Sprinter, hybrid, diesel, so training fits the engine you actually have. And the revolution leaves the arena. Seniors practice power and balance to stay independent. Surgeons schedule the toughest cases when HRV and sleep say they're sharpest. Shift workers defend circadian rhythm with light and meal timing protocols. Performance becomes a civilian word. Will we see stars competing at 45 or even 50? Some already do in pockets. With smarter load management, earlier skill development that spares joints, and better recovery ecosystems, more careers will arc longer. But the broader win is societal: parents who aren't exhausted all the time, teachers with steadier energy, workplaces designed around rhythms, not burnout. As AI and biotech evolve, the human elements, discipline, teamwork, joy, remain irreplaceable. The future isn't machines replacing effort. It's machines guiding effort so humans arrive more often as their best selves. Records will fall. More importantly, barriers between athlete health and everyone health will fall too. LeBron James turned longevity into an art form: discipline wrapped in data, courage wrapped in recovery, joy wrapped in routine. His legacy is points and rings, and a template for how to last. Don't copy every gadget. Copy the principles. Treat your body like a system, fix weak links, align the chain. Train to adapt, not just to exhaust. Make recovery a skill you schedule and measure. Let data inform, not dominate. Build psychological habits that steady you under pressure. Sleep like your next season depends on it, because it does. Athletic immortality isn't literal. But functional youth, moving, thinking, and recovering like someone younger, is a target we can all aim at. Engineering, done consistently, bends the aging curve. What do you think? Will the future of aging look more like a lab or a locker room? Comment with your one upgrade this month. Sleep consistency, strength training, breath work, or a smarter recovery routine. And in our next episode, we head into the frontier where AI meets tissue engineering, digital twins of human cells, protein design, and the therapies that could repair us from the inside out. Until then, train hard, recover smart, and play the long game.